Every year, thousands of people mysteriously disappear across the world without any clear explanation. Most cases are eventually solved by investigators and authorities, but some disappearances remain unexplained for decades. No witnesses, no evidence, and sometimes no trace at all. One mystery began high above the Pacific Ocean. Another disappearance started during what seemed like a normal commercial flight, and one of the strangest mysteries began centuries ago in a small colonial settlement. These events still confuse historians and investigators today. Some of the most famous disappearances in history remain completely unsolved. One of these mysteries began in the year 1937. Amelia Earhart was already one of the most famous pilots in the world. She had crossed oceans and broken aviation records that inspired millions. In 1937, she attempted to fly around the entire planet. The journey would cover more than 40,000 kilometers across dangerous skies and remote oceans. For weeks, the mission continued successfully across continents and vast stretches of ocean. The aircraft moved steadily toward the most dangerous part of the journey. Ahead of them stretched thousands of kilometers of empty Pacific Ocean. Somewhere within that ocean was the tiny island they needed to find. Then radio communication suddenly began to fail. Moments later, the signal disappeared forever. More than 30 years later, another mysterious disappearance shocked the United States. In November 1971, a quiet man boarded a commercial flight in Portland. He purchased a ticket using the name D.B. Cooper. Shortly after takeoff, he calmly handed a note to a flight attendant. The message claimed that he had a bomb in his briefcase. Cooper demanded $200,000 and several parachutes. The aircraft landed in Seattle, where authorities secretly delivered the ransom money. After releasing the passengers, the plane took off again with only a few crew members. As the aircraft flew through the stormy night sky, Cooper prepared for his escape. Then he opened the rear staircase and jumped into the darkness. Authorities immediately launched one of the largest manhunts in American history. Agents searched forests, rivers, and mountains across the Pacific Northwest. But no body, parachute, or evidence of Cooper was ever discovered. Years later, a small portion of the ransom money was found buried near a river. But the mysterious hijacker himself was never identified. Yet another disappearance would soon puzzle investigators. This time, the missing man was not anonymous. He was one of the most powerful labor leaders in America. His name was Jimmy Hoffa, and his disappearance would become one of the greatest mysteries in American history. Jimmy Hoffa was one of the most powerful labor leaders in the United States. For years, he controlled enormous influence across transportation and labor unions. But his career was surrounded by controversy and investigations. Authorities suspected connections between Hoffa and organized crime groups. In July 1975, Hoffa arranged a meeting outside Detroit. He arrived expecting to meet two associates. Witnesses later said they saw Hoffa waiting outside the restaurant. But after that moment, he was never seen again. His car remained parked outside the restaurant. But Jimmy Hoffa himself had vanished without a trace. Decades later, investigators are still searching for answers. Thousands of hours of investigation have produced countless theories. But none of them have ever revealed the full truth. Some believe the missing men died shortly after they vanished. Others believe their secrets were buried somewhere investigators never searched. Yet after decades, these mysteries remain unsolved. History is filled with disappearances that still puzzle investigators today. Some mysteries may eventually be solved, but others may remain mysteries forever. Sometimes history simply records the disappearance but never the answer.